I'm a cricket man, I'm a sportsman, and I worked for my country to leave the killing, to leave the terrorism, to leave the gun, to come to the peace. The Taliban were a big authority, and I was just a sportsman.
Over 100 years ago, Lord Curzon called Afghanistan one of the pieces of a chessboard upon which is being played out a great game for the domination of the world. A century later, little has changed.
After the first tour, once again Pakistan invite our team officially with high standard to Pakistan to play 4 matches. We played 2 matches in Peshawar, then we went to Islamabad and we played 2 matches. When the match is finished, the result of Afghanistan team was very good because this was a new team, and also we won some matches also.
Nouri, like millions of other refugees, fled Afghanistan for Pakistan after the Russian invasion in 1979, and he came in contact with the sport of cricket, a game played with great passion and skill by their southern neighbours, Pakistan.
I made some carpet, so I present that carpet gift to the chairman of PCB, Pakistan Cricket Board, and some photo I also take from that time that I am presenting that to the chairman of PCB. And I brought that photo with myself and we went to the Taliban. I showed that photos to the general director of sports. And he told me, oh, you take the photos. This Islamic religion not let us to take the photos. And they insulted me. And they told me, you are against our government. You should present tomorrow or other day to the High Court. There was no authority with me, no gun with me to fight them. What to do? So my mother told me, you should to go to Pakistan and you take your children and wife, you should to go. And I took them with myself, and the border was closed. So I went to the Pakistan by mountains in 2 days. If you saw me in that time, you will know that this is not a human. You will see that this is just meat is going on happy journey. And also sometime, some places, sometime I cry. Oh my God, what's happened? What is my mission and what is the people doing? So we received to the Pakistan and I was also too much angry that what happened to me. So I informed all the players and I informed all the players to come to Pakistan. And I told them, there is no cricket. You should to come to Pakistan because there is no a government to do something for us, and they are insulting us and they want to finish us. You should to come here. When the Taliban finish, we will go back. So all of the players come to Pakistan.
It was in Pakistan that many refugees were galvanized in their love of the game, seduced by exposure to international cricket on television.
When we came to Pakistan, we were children. We have started the cricket to play first with the tennis ball, and after that we have started the cricket with the hard ball, and we get the entry in some of the official club in Pakistan, Peshawar. A lot of the Afghan people is living here, and they also got the interest with this game, and they start the game. After a few years, we went to our country, and we have started the cricket of Afghanistan.
Since 1987, I think when I was in Pakistan, I watched almost all the matches which live telecast in Pakistan television. Then which those matches were not telecasting on the TV, I listen to the radio commentary. I buy a good radio for the matches, especially when Pakistan are visiting England.
Every person have a television in their houses, so a lot of the time cricket matches is going on Pakistan TV, and the people is watching the matches. So also the Afghani people is watch that matches, so they got the interest with that game.
When we watching the television, so their words, the commentaries, we are very keen at what will he say. For example, the commentary said that Inzamam Ulhaq is very strong on the back foot. And we decided what does it mean back foot. Then we find that words in the dictionaries in the different books. So I'm speaking English very well, and this credit goes to cricket.
As Nouri begins another journey from Pakistan through the historic Khyber Pass to Afghanistan, he's reminded of the desiccated landscape where only the sinewy and watchful survive. A region for centuries guided by fierce tribal loyalties and governed by honour, vigilance, heroism, vindictiveness, hospitality and defiant independence. Or as an old Afghan proverb puts it, I against my brother, I and my brother against our cousin, I, my brother and our cousin against our neighbour, all of us against the foreigner.
My mission is, I started 10 years ago, and I was thinking that how can I do some work for our people to save the Afghan people, to make our country. So I made a plan in my mind that the sports is the best way, because there is no politics, there is no gun, there is no fighting, there is no war in the sports. So I start our activity in Afghanistan, and we talk to our government and to give us to recognize our federation and to give us and let us to work officially. There was no cricket in Afghanistan. This is my mission, to save the people by playing cricket. So I think this is the best way for the Afghan people to save from war, and now the people is getting interest and they leave the war and they are going to be a sportsman, and they are happy, and day by day our promotion is continuous.
Over 2 million Afghans, mostly civilians in rural areas, were killed by the Soviets in the decade that the Russians occupied Afghanistan, and over 750,000 lost limbs to landmines. It's a bitter legacy, a memory imprinted on the Afghan consciousness that will never be erased.
Now we enter to Afghanistan, and from here we will receive to the Jalalabad, and this place was very bad. There a lot of their soldiers killed here. A lot of, and also you will see the tank. And look the tank. Looks the tank. The Russian tanks is this tank is finished.
On his journey to Kabul, Nouri stops off to visit an old friend and Mujahideen commander whose formative years were destroyed, along with much of the infrastructure he'd grown up with, by the Russian invasion, subsequent Mujahideen
آمد ما در جنگ روسا یک مرتبه دیگه پای ما زخمی شد که مرمی خوردم. مرمی روسا خورد و بسیار رنج و تکلیف در وقت و جنگ شد. و این مرحله دومی بود که در مقابل طالبا که ما آمدگی و استقامت ما در منطقه دیگه خط باشگاه اونجا بود که یک منطقه اونجا است، اون دیگه در اونجا رفتیم. ما در مقابل طالبان هم اینجا دوستای ما از بین رفت. بسیار به سنگر طالبا بسیار نزدیک بودیم. بسیار مسافه کمی داشت که در بین ما یک خط دیوال بود و اونا بالای ما بم استعمال کردن. ما بم را پس سر خودشان استعمال کردیم، از استقامت ما خطا خود بسیار ما را جنگ بود. خواهش ما فعلا در افغانستان حالا که آرامی آمده، خواهش ما همیست که کمی سلاح از افغانستان زودتر جمع شود، مملکت ما آرامی شود و این بیرانی هایی که در وطن ما رخ داده و اینا برادر به کمک برادرای دیگه همین ها جور شوند، مردم از این رنج و تکلیف و از این سرگردانی آرام شوند دیگه. و بعد از دیگه فعلا همه بازیار دیگه و آرامی و خوشیار روی کار است. فعلا در مکتب‌ها در اطرافها اینجا ببین همه برادرها با خوشی دیگه، میدان‌های والیبال است اونجا، میدان کرکت است و همه خوشی‌ها در اونجا بازی‌ها صورت داره بعد از رنج و تکلیفی که بعد از برآمدن طالبا که از افغانستان برآمد. فعلا که در وطن ما آرامی و این جانجوری که به ملت و آرامی نصیب شده، ما از همه دیگه برادرای دیگه کلانا و بزرگا دیگه تشکری میکنیم و از اونا خوش هستیم که فعلا در مملکت ما یک آرامی آمد و فعلا مکتب ها و همه مردم ما بی سواد مانده بود. فعلا ما در حوال انقلاب دیگه در صنف 6 بودم در مکتب و تا حال نتونستم که ما در مکتب برم دیگه درس خود بخونم. بی سواد ماندم و به امثال ما یک تعداد برادرای بسیار متعلمین که بودن، اونها سب نو در مکتب اونها میخواهند که سب سواد پیدا کنن. این حال ما بسیار خوش میشیم و خوش هستیم که فعلا آرامی در مملکت ماست. ما افتخار میکنیم. ما یگانه از استادا رفتیم امروز در مکتب ها دیدیم که همه گپ ها فعلا جور است. ما بسیار خوش شدیم، به کل استادا و متعلمان مکتب تشکر کردیم. ما تا حال خوشحال هستیم و دیگه امید هستیم که تا آینده ان شاء الله همه گپ های ما ان شاء الله جور است.
When the Mujahideen finally captured Kabul after the Russian retreat in 1989, their leaders agreed on a form of power sharing, so Byzantine it was doomed by its own complexity. Like fighting beetles encased inside a jar, the different factions, allied along traditional Afghani lines of tribe, sect and geography, began to dispute with each other with a viciousness that was incandescent. The result was a destruction that turned much of Kabul into a charnel house. When the Taliban seized power after the Mujahideen's obstinate mutual destruction, they in turn initiated another shelling of Kabul. 17th century Pashtun warrior poet Kushal Khan Khattak could well have been thinking of the destruction of Kabul when he wrote, "I despise a man who does not guide his life by honor. The very word drives me mad. And when a man is mad, what does he care if he wins or loses a fortune?" At a local recreation ground, Nouri's always on the lookout for new talent for the national team.
15 years ago, this place was a very beautiful place, and the people were coming here, and this was a park, and every facilities for to rest and to swim and all to play. Every facilities was possible here. But now you are seeing this place. This place is damaged, and also you will see this place like the rockets place, and also the steps also, and you see the walls, everything. So our country is finished, so nothing's left. There is the corporate box you see, and all the players are going there and there. So I think this is enough for us. We have a good pavilion and a lot of the best places to play and to sit. Yes, right? This day is not a selection day, but we will see, and we will note his name to come to the trials to play in the official provincial cricket tournaments.
Playing cricket on former bomb sites is far from ideal, and using a hard leather ball can be a problem.
Tennis ball cricket is very important because if you want to play cricket at a high level, the first you should start with tennis ball because it's very easy and you can learn your bowling action and also you can correct your batting techniques, like how to you will play on the back foot and how to you will play in the front foot, and this is very easy to play in the tennis ball, because it's not dangerous, and also the player is not operating from the ball. In subcontinent like Pakistan and India, it's very popular. The most important thing that it's very cheap. You can buy a bat on 100 Pakistani rupee.
Wide.
When the British forces came to Afghanistan in 1839, they built this building at that time, and they installed their own king, Shah Shuja. So the people of Afghanistan take action in 1841, and they attack on the British forces. All of the British forces, about 16,000 were killed. But when the Afghans Mujahideen attack on the British forces, in that time the British forces were playing cricket here. There is a game in Afghanistan that people playing from 900 years ago, and the name of that game is Tubdanda.
Tubdanda is a game which is similar with cricket. 11-11 player with both teams. Tubdanda in the Mughal language is called Kilgit, and Kilgit means go and back. In cricket we hit the wickets, sir. In Tubdanda we hit the men. And the fielding is just like cricket. So if the Tubdanda players came to a cricket match and they says, oh, the cricket game is playing, then they asking about the cricket game. What is this? This is like Tubdanda. It's similar.
So I think this Kilgit game is similar and same to the cricket game. Maybe the British see this game, Kilgit, and I think they get interest with this game, and they took this game with themselves to England.
It's time for Nouri to get in trim with some much-needed bowling practice before the upcoming provincial tournament, which, if it's to get off the ground, requires a large input of voluntary labour and ingenuity. Faced with financial priorities in so many areas of life, Nouri and Afghan cricket face a constant battle for resources to get a 2018 provincial tournament off the ground. Renowned travel writer Robert Byron, on entering Afghanistan for the first time in the 1930s, remarked, "Here at last is Asia without an inferiority complex." It's this resilient Afghani can-do ethos that will be much needed to launch the cricket tournament. The rigid Taliban theocracy of the 1990s perceived Kabul as dangerously decadent and treated its inhabitants with a particular harshness. But now, the old throb of this major Asian cosmopolitan city is beginning to reassert itself. This tentative revival and the greater personal freedoms that have gone hand in hand with this rejuvenation has allowed Kabul to become a fertile breeding ground for Nouri's mission of spreading cricket as an agent of peace. Faced with financial problems for the looming cricket tournament, Nouri visits the National Sports Committee to negotiate for equipment. A return to the labyrinthine corridors of the National Stadium reminds Nouri of his dispute with the Taliban and the medieval barbarity that took place, where men and women like fluttering ghosts in their tent-like burqas were publicly executed during football games. Innovation has become the standby of cash-strapped Afghan cricket, and Nouri, faced with no grass growth, has developed a unique form of pitch preparation that's both cheap and effective. The results will have to stand up to 4 days of intense competition in the upcoming tournament.
One day I thought with myself that how to mat the pitch. So I thought that I see some walls that plaster with the mud and dry grass, and it's have a long life. So I think with myself that I wanted to mat it for the pitch. We played on this and it is very good. First we will brought some water here on the pitch, and some of the water like this, a little more, and after that we will put the dry grass and soil on this, and we will level it. A lot of time we done that, and it is very good to play on this. We had a ruler here to fix the to rule this pitch, but someone before 3 months ago someone has stole it from here, and now we have a old loader with which we made it from the cement and concrete, and yes, now we will use that one for ruling.
As preparations continue on the ground and pitch for the provincial tournament, Nouri's intent on a side trip to a refugee camp to foster cricket amongst the children and to witness the dislocation and extreme privation. Millions fled Afghanistan in the wake of the Soviet invasion, the factionalized Mujahideen implosion, the dogma-driven Taliban, and a countryside festooned with landmines. Coupled with this refugee exodus to Pakistan and Iran, millions became refugees in their own country as they fled rural areas for the major cities. Thousands of towns and villages became deserted. Irrigation schemes succumbed to nature, and homes, schools, mosques and clinics disintegrated into the dusty earth from which they were made. Such was the breakdown of infrastructure that by the late 1990s, Afghanistan became so dysfunctional it manufactured almost nothing except heroin. This historic backdrop has been compounded, like some Old Testament curse, by a debilitating drought in the last 4 years.
آیا تم در جوانیت کدام با می سپورت شوق داشتی؟
نه بچه موزه کجا سپورت به دوری از ما.
یعنی باز دیگه پس آمدی، یعنی سه چند سال دیگه که من این دفعه حدیث اینمی طالب کنده رفتی. خب حدیث اینمی طالب روز بعد بود کنده رفتی این دیگه باز قسمت بود، این باز پس آمدی اینی ولی دینمی دستی داغ دینمی جی بمباری شد و اینمی مقصد ماسیره شدی و چی شدی؟ وقت از او کار را خلاص شدی، پس همین باز دبید شیشت خدا مهربان شد که این پاچای برات شد.
اینجا زندگی اینمی تو دم داشت، تو داغ هستیم، اینمی تو دا خدا هستیم. یکی آمدی ملاخ خورد دم داشت یک گیام، یک قدر علف هم نیست که یک مرکب خریدی که ایسوسی یک آسیا و یک رقم بکنی. اما هم نیست که یک الله داشت تیله کنی از دان خود بخوره.
زندگی دیگه یک روز هست دیگه، مقصد یک تیر میشه دیگه. غریبی والی حاضر که نیست، چیز نیست دیگه. اونم بچه چهار بیچاره رای کردیم میدم کودی.
اولادایتان شوق دارن به بازی که در پاکستان شما دیدید؟
ها دیده، ها شوق داره. چی در شوق نداره؟ ها شوق داره. در کرکت شوق داره، در مکتب شوق داره، در درس و تعلیم در اطلاع بسیار شوق داره. در کرکت نیست. نیست حالی در کار غریبی خواه. اما کار غریبی بخیر، یک کار غریبی یک چی شد باز امو وقتی یک بیگه کار شد در کرکت چنگ و مشاند در یک مکتب موگی باشه که بچه چای مو یک شرافت بیافه، یک عقل بیافه، یک هوش بیافه که یک جان خود بشنخشه. یک اول موقع که انسان جان خود شنخت باز خوبه پاگه میشنخشه. یعنی دیگه اونمو گفت دیگه چیم دیگه.
پیش یک نفر گوریم تا زمین های اوی که یک چنگل که بیتی بعض مسلمان اگه دل شد میتی اگه نشدیش.
اولادایت در کجاست؟
اولادای فعلا نال در غریبی هست، در میکو هم یا هر جایی که غریبی پیدا شد پشتم غریبی گشت.
آیا اولادایت با ورزش کرکت شوق دارن؟
شوق داره. چرا شوق نداره که دیست نداره، حال نداره. اگه دیست پیدا کنه خواد بکنه.
یعنی بگه امی غریبی از مو که تکمیل شد که در روز مو که چتا شد غلیمه ترک شد باز دینمی کرکید و دینمی مکتب و دینمی درس و تعلیم دیگه. باز بچه چای بسیار شوق داره. بسیار شوق داره. یه تو شوق داره که هم تو شوق داره.
اگر خدا قدرت بیتی او تو دیشی برسه چرا نمیکنه؟ او کاری هست که کاری روزش خوب میشه و همون کار چرا نمیکنه؟ خوشی میکنه مگر دیست ندارن. غریب هستن.
Returning to his village to distribute some basic cricket equipment to his old school, Nori reflects on the 1979 Russian invasion that saw his family flee to Pakistan, as the Mujahideen, propelled by the fervour of jihad, struggled to wrest their country back from the communist-aligned Kabul regime. A great bitterness about the Soviet invasion still permeates Afghanistan over a decade after the Soviet troop withdrawal in 1989. It's not difficult to understand why. The Russians raped women in the name of emancipation, machine-gunned illiterate peasants, burned people alive, or drowned them in their own excrement. Most of these victims would have been hard-pressed to pinpoint Moscow on a map had they been asked. Landmines, seductively resembling children's toys, caused maiming and death. Villages were razed, livestock slaughtered, and harvests destroyed, as a new and vicious version of the 19th century's Great Game was played out by the superpowers on Afghani soil. An ineffable heaviness of heart envelops Nori as he returns to the ruins of his family home. His optimism only sustained by his mission of healing a nation through cricket.
We have come to our village after a long time, and we see our village damaged. And that time when our village damaged and fired and bombarded by the Russian, a lot of our people is killed, children killed, my uncle also killed. And that time I was just I think 5 years old. Some of the Russian tanks and stand on the road and just they start the fighting. And they start their firing with the big guns, with the rocket, and they start the gun, and our area is damaged and it's finished. We put out a place and enter the earth. And when the firing started, so we go there and enter the earth like a big place. And so the firing were on the walls, on the rooms, and we were enter. And that time we were in the enter of the earth. For 1 year, we bear the difficulties that the Russian was bombard and firing on our village. So we need that to leave this place, and we went to Pakistan. When the Russian came to our country in the attack on our country, so the action of the Afghan people was full of angry, and I saw the tanks and helicopter and the jet. They were coming and they bombard the area and our village and our house. They finished everything. I don't like killing. I don't like terrorism. I don't like terrorism. I don't like killing. So that I don't like the killing and terrorism. So how to save the people? They will come from the sport also to education. And they will start the also education, because their mind feeling well. After playing cricket, they feeling well, and the mind will be soft and easy. So they can to learn. So they can to take education. So this is my mission. I think this is the best way. Every time we are promising these people that you play the cricket, I will try to brought some equipment for you, and sometimes little of the equipments we are purchasing from the city, and we are giving to these children to encourage.
حال آماده ازی هستن که ما همگی سپورت بکنیم، ولی مواد و دست ندارن، به خاطر که همه سقوط کرده بود، هیچ چیز وجود نداشت. مثل که میبینین مکتب کل خراب و ابتر و ویرانه شده، با ویرانه تبدیل شده. اما در دروازه‌اش اینیا را کل نو ساختیم، اون دیوارای که میده کل نو خود ما ساختیم. بیشتر دو اوار بود کلش از اکثر. ما مواد کمکی که شما از طریق شما یعنی بشر دوستانه در افغانستان آمده کمک میکنیم، این مواد را با ما آماده بسازیم، هر نوع سپورت آماده هستند و تشویق هستند میخوان. این سپورت ما وقت پیش برده میتونیم که همه گپایش آمادگی به موادها داشته باشیم. ما همه شاگردان طول 5 سال به شما معلوم است که شامل از این سپورت ها نبودن. در طول 5 سال همه به شما مکتب نبودن، دخترها مکتب نبودن، مکتب سقوط بود از طالبانه.
Lot of the time, every time we are trying to supply some cricket equipment, but the economic position is weak, and also the world there is no equipment until now is given to us to give to these people, to the young people, to learn the cricket. Because when a person start the cricket in the age of 10 years, maybe they will be very good players. So we are trying to start the cricket to prepare the equipment for all the people, and also we start a program in Afghanistan in the schools.
در وقت تو حکومت طالبان فقط یک 4 تا لنگیدار نمیشه با 4 شاگردای طبقه ذکور نمیشه درس میخواندن و دیگه طبقه اوناس و اکثریت وجود نداشت. ما در وقت طالبان مثلا 200 شاگرد داشتیم، حال 1800 شاگرد داریم، یعنی قدر تفاوت داریم. طور مشکل احساس میکنن حال وقتی که به مکتب میان معلمین ما که میان ما شمپرسان میکنیم که شما چی مشکلی یا میگفتن که مثل که ما نمی 5 سال حبس تیر کردیم، یک بند خانه بود. غریب و پیسه‌دار مکمل میان و هیچ کسی اینطور نمانده که در خانه مثلا 100 نفر شاگرد باید مکتب می آمد امی 100 در مکتب آمدن در کسی در خانه نمانده بسیار کمی فیصدی 2 تا اگر مانده باشه در 100 2 تا فیصدی 2 تا اگر مانده باشه متباقیش بازسازی شده و مکتب می آمد وجود نداره با وجودی که فیس ماش وجود نداره یک تا نانی که از طرف ABC یک قرص نان 200 گرم برای زیاد تهیه شده همه روزه برشون داده میشه این بسیار رول مهم امو گپ هم داره.
Before leaving his village, Nori takes tea and prays. At the same time, he reflects on the roots of his faith and his dispute with the Taliban over the playing of cricket.
Our God tell us that you should to pray in 24 hours, you should to pray 5 times. And I am praying 5 times. When I am in the trip, when I am in the house, when I am in the mountains, so the time of praying coming, naturally there is something in my body that he is informed me that you should to pray. Look to the morning, I am sleeping in the morning. So in the time of prayer, there is some power, there is some naturally power that is they're saying me, get up, pray. When I am praying, first I will call to my God. Oh God, you are the big power. And after that, I will start my request to my God. I will appreciate His kindness that He found me, that He sent me to the world. He is preparing every kind of fruit. Is there any other power in the world to create one kind of the food? There is no power. Our God is creating this. Our God is preparing this for us. So you should to think with yourself that everything our God preparing for you. For what you come to the world? Just for His prayer. Also, our God sent a holy book to us, and we are going to the order of our God. So in this book, our God and our Prophet let us to exercise in free time. Our Prophet, sometimes he was running to get the exercise. If you exercise, the exercise useful for your health, for your body, for your mind, for your head, for your stomach, for everything. The exercise is the best thing, and our God and our Prophet let us.
On the way back to Kabul for the cricket tournament, Nori visits his driver's father, a man of the soil twice driven to Pakistan as a refugee. 16 of his extended family were killed in the past 23 years of turmoil.
دتی ور بروسیان چې راغله په دې څنګه نمشته کې چې ټانکونه راغله په خیرخانه کې اول ابتدا کې چې راغله دی خلکو سره څوک نه پیدا چې دا چا راوسته خو به چې بابر کارمل راوسته د کمونیستیانو دا بابر کارمل دغه خلکو راوسته د چې ور خلکو په کورو بننسته چورو چاپا به هم کړی غلې به هم کړی خلک هم شکول پس شو بیا ور خلکو ټول هجرت وکړو څوک پاکستان ته لاړ څوک ایران ته لاړ چې وزره دا ناموس بیوا بنشي بې ستر نشي د دې خاورې ټول هغوی خلکو که بیا تاجکیان و هغوی ورته وي چې خاوره مه پرېږدئ خو چې نور هم بربادېږو چې دا واړه طفلان مونږ خو دغه د ګیلې سپینې شو هېڅ ما خپله دغه کلام امضا نه ده زده زه وایم زه جوالګیري وکړم خو چې د لمسي و زمن مو سبق ویي خدای ورستي تمام ورځ دی ما لاسونه دي که ما ولې دوی غونته به ما هم د لاسونه غویړ پیړ به ښه توتره ښه صحیح که درس و سبق یې یېله وه زه ولې داسې شي سرګردانه شي خلک ولې آینده همدغه خیال دی چې دغه ورسېږي مکتبونه جوړ شي دویونه جوړ شي مکتبونه حساب کتاب اول مکتب ضرور دی سلا ورکه شي سلا نه بلا بلا ده که نه نک په ناک ور 1 لک روپۍ ورکړه دا سړی مړ که وخوره غوښې وخوره دا 20 کاله غلی دا 20 کالو که دا 50 کاله خدای ورستی دی وي چې زه وایم جوالګیري وکړم په زمنو سبق وایم زه 5 روپۍ پیدا کړم چې دوی ته زه کالي وخلم یا قلم وخلم یا کاغذ وخلم لیکن هغې هم واسه یو بعضې بې لري بعضې یې نه لري خو دغه که حکومت موږ سره یوه چاره وکړي چې مکتبونه دوی کړي ځایونه راته جوړ کړي اولین ترین موږ ته مکتب لازم دی که مکتب وي ولکه نه توپک وخلي نه ډز وکړي په یو سړي انسان به ډېر قدر پیدا کړي یو انسان څنګه خو د بېعقلتوب نه د جهلتوب نه او شي لوی شي په خرو کو اخر وره دغه لیبې کړي او که سبق درس وي ولې داسې شي
Amidst scenes reminiscent of a time when the natural rhythm of the seasons dominated life, Nouri is reminded of the work that still has to be done back in Kabul for the Interprovincial Cricket Tournament, the biggest day in Afghan cricket's domestic calendar. The tournament will be a chance to renew old friendships and provide a springboard for those striving for national team selection. Buoyed by the new equipment Nouri has extracted from the poorly funded National Sports Committee, he arrives back to a flurry of dusty and back-breaking work on the outfield and the cricket pitch, which is reaching intense levels as the representatives from 28 far-flung provinces gather in Kabul. Short of any adequate practice facilities, pre-tournament warm-ups overflow onto the road as an air of anticipation gains momentum. As opening day of the tournament arrives and the musicians launch into their oscillating and haunting rhythms, all is set for the government minister and the dignitaries to arrive for the formalities prior to play getting underway. For Nouri, cricket in Afghanistan has come a long way since the problems with the Taliban and his flight to Pakistan. A post-September 11 hiatus may exist in Afghanistan, but a pervading uneasiness, gnawing at the bleached bones of a country teetering on the edge of anarchy, hovers like a circling vulture. But for Aladad Nouri, there will always be another potent great game, standing outside the chessboard manipulations of the big powers, which wields the bat